Hello, my dear friend. I want to thank you for making the sacred choice to pause, to breathe, and to step into this moment of quiet. You could be anywhere right now. You could be rushing through your morning, endlessly scrolling through the loud, demanding noise on your phone. You could already be letting your mind race 10 steps ahead, frantically trying to figure out everything you have to fix, manage, and hold together today. But instead, you are here, and I want you to know something profoundly important from the very first second of our time together. You are not listening to this by accident. This exact moment, this specific quiet space, has been woven together long before you even opened your eyes today. It was prepared just for you. So, please, just stop for a second. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a deep, slow breath in, and let it out. Let me ask you something sincere, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself. Have you been waking up lately with a quiet sense of panic? Not necessarily because of one massive, earth-shattering crisis, but simply because the daily anxieties of life feel like a heavy, suffocating blanket pressing down on your chest. The moment your eyes open, the mental checklist begins. The worries about your health, the relentless concerns for your family and the people you love, the subtle signs of aging that make you wonder how fast time is slipping through your fingers, the silent, paralyzing fear of an unpredictable tomorrow. The world around us is so incredibly loud. It expects you to just keep moving. It demands that you be the strong one, the pillar for everyone else, the one who handles every uncertainty without ever showing that your spirit is trembling. But the truth is, behind closed doors, behind the polite smiles you give to strangers, many of us are battling a fierce, invisible storm of anxiety. Deep inside, where no one else hears it, we whisper questions we are too afraid to speak aloud. How do I find peace when my mind absolutely will not stop racing? How do I walk through this season of life with calm when I feel so incredibly anxious? If you have ever felt that quiet, anxious ache, if your heart has been heavy with chronic worry, then this moment is especially for you. Because the divine sees the questions tucked away inside your heart. He sees the invisible storm you are trying to weather entirely by yourself. He sees the sheer exhaustion behind your brave smile, the exhausting overthinking behind all your careful plans, and the silent terrors behind your closed doors. And you were brought here today to be gently reminded of a truth you may have forgotten. You do not have to carry this anxiety alone anymore. I want to speak something straight into your spirit right now, and I want these words to settle deeply, like warm sunlight touching the cold, trembling places of your soul. Listen to me, you are not weak for feeling anxious. You are not broken because you worry about your family, your finances, or your future. You are not failing simply because your mind races in the middle of the night. You are human, you are fragile at times, beautifully vulnerable, and yet, you are immeasurably loved. Nothing about your anxiety makes you less worthy of peace. In fact, it is often in the very place of our deepest, darkest worry where perfect love rests the most tenderly. God is not disappointed in your fear. He is not shocked by your racing thoughts. He is not angry or standing at a distance because you do not feel perfectly calm today. He draws closer to the brokenhearted, not further away. He understands the heavy toll that the years have taken on you, the invisible griefs you have quietly collected, and the uncertainties that cast long, cold shadows over your days. This morning, allow yourself to just rest. You do not need to perform for anyone here. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to be open to letting peace meet you right where you are, exactly as you are. Now, let us bring those hidden, terrifying anxieties into the light, one painful layer at a time, because God, in His infinite wisdom, knows exactly what drains your spirit. Sometimes, the peace we so desperately seek isn't stolen by a massive, life-altering crisis. Sometimes, the things that completely unsettle us and trigger our deepest anxieties are small, quiet, and hidden. It is the sheer exhaustion of the hundreds of decisions we feel forced to make every single day. The internal wrestling, the tiny crossroads, the silent choices that no one else knows about, but that affect us so deeply. It is the agonizing tug of war between speaking up or staying quiet. It is the uncertainty of how to best help a struggling family member without overstepping, or how to manage the daily realities of life when your energy is already running so dangerously low. It is the paralyzing fear of making the wrong choice, no matter how small that choice may seem. We lie awake at night, staring at the dark ceiling, endlessly replaying conversations, wondering if we said too much or too little. We spiral into decision fatigue, feeling like the entire weight of our family's well-being rests entirely on our fragile shoulders. These are the moments that often shake us the most, not because they are dramatic, but because they are constant. They wear on us little by little, chipping away at our peace, asking for wisdom and energy again and again in ways that leave our minds completely drained. And then, there is that other silent thief of peace, the heavy, suffocating burden of comparing our journey to others. It happens so quietly, often without us even realizing it. We look at what other people have built, how seamlessly they seem to manage their families, how healthy they look, or how confidently they seem to move through the world. And somewhere deep inside, a small, painful whisper rises in our anxious minds. Why is my life so much harder right now? Why am I not there yet? What did I do wrong? We scroll through photos, we hear other people's highlight reels, and we watch lives that seem smoother, brighter, and infinitely more successful than our own. And even when we try our absolute hardest not to, sometimes we just feel incredibly behind. We feel like everyone else was handed a map to life that we somehow never received. We feel like we are failing at a race we did not even know we were running. And the pressure to catch up, to be perfect, to hold everything together flawlessly becomes suffocating. It is a quiet, isolating ache, but it is so intensely real. It weighs on our chests. It steals our joy. It makes us doubt His perfect timing. And it deeply questions our own worth. But my friend, hear this clearly today. Comparison is a subtle, slow, and highly destructive lie. It completely blinds us to the beautiful, quiet grace He is forming in our own lives. It convinces us that what we have isn't enough, who we are isn't enough, and where we are in life isn't enough. Today, we intentionally break agreement with that toxic lie. We refuse to bow to the agonizing pressure of perfectionism anymore. We are not in competition with anyone. No one else's story diminishes the value of yours. No one else's blessing steals from your portion. Your race is your own. Your journey is uniquely your own. Your timeline is shaped perfectly by His loving hands, not by the frantic pace of the world, and not by the unrealistic expectations we place on ourselves. And for many of us listening to this prayer today, we are carrying a very specific kind of anxiety that the world rarely talks about. It is the silent, heavy anxiety of growing older. We look in the mirror, and we see the undeniable marks that time has etched onto our faces and our bodies. Our hair has grayed, our steps have inevitably slowed down, our energy fades much faster than it used to, and our bodies carry aches that constantly remind us that the years are passing by. In a world that moves so incredibly fast, a world that constantly celebrates youth, hustle, and endless productivity, it is so easy to feel completely overlooked. It is easy to let the agonizing fear of becoming invisible, or the terrifying thought of becoming a burden to our families, steal our daily peace. We confess that we sometimes look back at our younger years with a quiet, heavy grief, wondering if our best days, our most useful days, are completely behind us. We worry endlessly about our declining health, about losing our hard-earned independence, and about what the next decade will actually look like. That specific fear can be absolutely suffocating. But today, we bring the anxiety of aging directly to the feet of the one who exists completely outside of time. He has never, not for a single heartbeat, measured your worth by your youth, your speed, or your physical strength. If anything, your value in His kingdom has only grown richer, deeper, and profoundly stronger with time. He has woven decades of hard-earned wisdom into your very bones. He has shaped you through years of surviving unpredictable hardships, experiencing deep joy, and navigating profound loss. He has carved genuine compassion into your hands and enduring empathy into your spirit. Nothing He has built into you over these decades has been wasted. Not one season, not one tear, not one trial. You still matter. You are still deeply needed. We intentionally stop fighting the clock today. We release the frantic, exhausting need to hold on to a past version of ourselves. We embrace the calm, beautiful acceptance of who we are today, mature, seasoned, sharpened by life, and still so deeply loved and called by Him. We do not need the frantic energy of youth. We need the unshakable peace of His purpose. And He has already given it to us. Finally, as we ask for His profound peace to cover our present and our future, we realize that we must also bring him the heavy, silent burdens of our past. So much of the anxiety that grips our chests today is actually deeply rooted in the rearview mirror of our lives. We carry the exhausting weight of yesterday's regrets. We silently agonize over the parenting mistakes we wish we could somehow undo. The financial decisions that still keep us awake at night. The words we spoke in anger. And the opportunities we feel we let slip through our trembling fingers. We have a devastating habit of replaying these old, painful memories on a continuous loop in our minds, punishing ourselves over and over again for things that have already happened. We let the guilt of our past failures convince us that we are somehow unworthy of his peace today. The enemy loves to use our history to steal our present joy, constantly whispering that because we stumbled back then, our future is permanently ruined, or that our families are forever broken because of our shortcomings. That quiet, nagging voice of regret is one of the heaviest anxieties we carry. But his word beautifully declares that his mercies are incredibly new every single morning, not just on the days we get everything perfectly right, but especially on the days we realize how far we have fallen short. He does not hold our past against us. When he forgave us, he did not just sweep our mistakes under the rug, he washed them completely away. As far as the east is from the west, he does not demand that we carry the unbearable, suffocating weight of our own history. Today, we intentionally choose to drop the heavy bags of regret that we have been dragging around for decades. We choose to forgive ourselves, not because we were perfect, but because he has so graciously and completely forgiven us. We fully release our past into his capable, redeeming hands. We trust that he is the God of restoration, the God who can take even our biggest mistakes and miraculously weave them into a beautiful, redemptive story. Let his perfect peace finally wash over the deeply bruised places in our hearts that still ache with regret. Calm the anxiety that tells us it is too late to fix things, and replace it with the gentle, unshakable assurance that his grace is always more than enough. As we lay down our own personal fears, the exhaustion of our daily decisions, and the heavy regrets of our past, we must now bring to the light the deepest, most vulnerable ache in our anxious hearts, our endless, consuming worry for our loved ones. For so many of us, our greatest panics and our darkest nights are not even about ourselves. They are about our children, our adult sons and daughters who are out there navigating a difficult, chaotic, and fiercely demanding world. They are about our grandchildren, growing up in times that feel so unpredictable, so fast, and often so unsafe. They are about our spouses, our aging parents, and the people we love more than our own breath. We must confess today that as our families have grown, the comforting illusion of our control has completely faded. When our children were small, we could hold them close. We could bandage their scraped knees, dry their tears, and keep them safe inside the physical walls of our homes. We were their ultimate shield. But now, they are out in the world, fighting their own unseen battles. They are facing their own financial struggles, navigating their own profound heartbreaks, and making their own complex, life-altering decisions. And the terrifying realization that we can no longer fix everything for them, that we cannot step in and absorb their pain, is what often keeps us awake in the darkest, quietest hours of the night. We pace the floors, we watch the evening news and feel our hearts drop. We stare at our phones, waiting for a text or a call, carrying a suffocating knot of worry in our stomachs, desperately wishing we could somehow weave a magic shield around them to protect them from every possible harm. The burden of caring so deeply, yet having so little control, is an agonizing weight to bear. But today, right here in this quiet space, we are reminded of a beautiful, profoundly grounding truth. It is a truth that can instantly shatter the chains of parental anxiety if we truly let it sink into our spirits. Before they were ever yours, they were his. The divine loves your children, your grandchildren, and your family with a fierce, unconditional depth that even your own incredible parental love cannot match. His eyes are constantly on them in the exact moments when yours cannot be. His hands can reach them in places, in situations, and across distances where your hands simply cannot go. Today, we intentionally make the hardest, yet most liberating choice. We release our loved ones into his perfect, protective care. We stop trying to play the role of the ultimate protector in their lives. We step back, not out of defeat, but into the quiet, powerful trust of knowing that the Good Shepherd is constantly watching over his flock. Imagine, right now, your own two hands. Hands that have been trying so desperately to control outcomes. Hands that have been gripping the steering wheel of life until your knuckles turn white. I want you to mentally, or even physically, right where you are, open your tightly clenched fists. We let go. We completely and intentionally surrender the need to manage the universe. We ask that a strong, invisible hedge of safety be placed around their homes, their minds, their relationships, and their physical bodies right now. We ask for guidance in their difficult decisions when they are standing at confusing crossroads. Unsure of which way to turn, we pray for protection from unseen harm, and we ask that their minds be shielded from the heavy, suffocating anxieties of this generation. And when they do inevitably stumble, because they are human, just as we are, let divine grace be the gentle safety net that catches them, rather than the harsh ground of the world. Give us the profound, unshakable peace of knowing that we do not have to worry them into safety. Worry is not a shield, it is a thief. We cannot outsmart our own panic, and our human effort is simply not enough to control the storms of the future. So, we trade our heavy burdens for His gentle grace, trusting completely that His shoulders are broad enough to carry the weight of everything we fear. Let this truth completely settle the deep, exhausted panic in our parental hearts. And as we surrender the people we love, we must also surrender the timeline of our own lives. We stop demanding to see the entire blueprint. We realize today that we cannot fight anxiety with more thinking. We stop trying to outplan the unknown. We breathe out the exhausting sigh of trying to figure out what the next 5 years will look like. We do not have to have the next 5 years figured out. We only need to hold on to trust for the next 5 minutes. When the path ahead is completely obscured by the thick fog of uncertainty, we only need the courage to take the next right step. Let that clarity become our profound comfort. Let that infinite wisdom become the solid anchor for our restless, exhausted minds. Where there was once a frantic, desperate need to control every moving piece of our lives, we invite a quiet, resting trust in His goodness. We stop fighting the terrifying waves of the future today, and we simply let ourselves be held. We breathe in, we open our hands, we surrender. Having completely surrendered our past, our unknown future, and the deep, agonizing fears for our loved ones into capable, divine hands, we must now gently bring our focus back to this exact day. Today, right now, we intentionally invite a holy, calming presence to step fully into the next 24 hours of our lives. So often, we wait for a massive miracle, a profound spiritual breakthrough, or a sudden, dramatic shift in our circumstances to finally feel at peace. We hold our breath, enduring the days, completely forgetting that the divine is a God who deeply loves to dwell in the wonderfully, beautifully ordinary. True calmness is not just found on mountaintops or in perfectly silent retreats. It must be actively practiced in the messy, unpredictable rhythm of real life. We ask today that the mundane, everyday tasks of this day be beautifully transformed into sacred spaces of mental rest. Meet us in the kitchen as we prepare breakfast or as we pour our quiet morning coffee. Sit with us in the stillness of our living rooms before the rest of the world wakes up and the demands of the day begin to shout our names. Be the unseen passenger in our cars as we navigate through heavy, frustrating traffic. Hold our trembling hands as we sit in yet another cold, sterile doctor's waiting room, waiting for news we cannot control. Be profoundly present in the quiet, repetitive moments when we are simply folding laundry, washing the dishes, or organizing our daily medications. You see, anxiety loves to ambush us in these exact quiet, ordinary routines. It suddenly whispers terrifying lies and worst-case scenarios while our hands are busy with chores. It uses the quietness of an empty house to amplify the loud, chaotic noise inside our heads. But today, we purposefully interrupt the toxic cycle. We invite the Holy Spirit, that ultimate, grounding presence of perfect love, to fill every single room of our homes and every single mundane task on our daily to-do list. We ask you to change the very atmosphere of the places we inhabit today. Let every routine task become a quiet, intentional opportunity to thank Him for the simple breath in our lungs. When we start to feel that familiar, terrifying tightening in our chests while standing at the kitchen sink, remind us to simply pause, take a slow, deep breath, and whisper a word of gratitude. Let the warm water running over our hands be a physical, tangible reminder that grace is currently washing over our tired minds. Let the act of sweeping the floor be a gentle reminder that we are sweeping away the debris of our unnecessary worries. Lord, where there has been a lingering spirit of heaviness, tension, and unseen dread within our walls, let there be a fresh, clean breeze of joy. Where the walls of our homes have felt closed in by worry, financial stress, and suffocating what-ifs, let them be pushed wide open by the expansiveness of your perfect, unconditional love. We declare today, with firm and quiet authority, that our homes are sanctuaries of your peace. The world outside our front doors may be incredibly loud, chaotic, and frantically rushing toward the next crisis or the next piece of breaking news. But inside our hearts, and inside our homes, we establish a strong, impenetrable perimeter of divine calmness. We choose what energy we allow across our threshold. We know we have to live in this unpredictable world. We cannot completely hide from reality, and we do not ask to be removed from it. But hear this liberating truth: we absolutely do not have to absorb its panic. We can walk through the busy grocery store aisles, sit in the intimidating waiting rooms, and speak with our neighbors while carrying a profound, unshakable peace. A peace so deep, so quiet, and so remarkably grounded that it makes others quietly wonder what our secret is. And the secret, Lord, is simply you. It is the art of practicing your presence in the middle of our beautifully imperfect lives. We do not need to mentally live in the fears of tomorrow. We only need to be exactly where our feet are, fully present, fully held, and fully loved in this exact, breathing moment. As this sacred time of prayer gently draws to a close, Lord, we feel your profound nearness, not as a distant theological idea, not as a fleeting memory, but as a present, living, and incredibly tender reality right here, right now. We thank you for every single word of truth that has been planted deeply inside our weary spirits today. We thank you for every heavy, suffocating fear that finally loosened its grip during this quiet time. We thank you for every piece of our scattered peace that has been restored, rebuilt, and beautifully awakened again. And now, we choose to walk forward into this day not as the tired, overwhelmed, or anxious versions of ourselves who first began this prayer, but as who you have called us to be. We declare that we will face the hours ahead not with a spirit of panic, but with a quiet, unshakable faith, a faith that carries us when we are exhausted, a faith that steadies our trembling hands, a faith that constantly reminds us that we are never, ever walking alone. We are ready, Lord, ready for the peace you will continue to pour into us, and ready to live this day anchored in your strong, faithful, and ever-present love. Amen. Dear friend, as this prayer settles completely into your heart, I want you to know something deeply true. Something profound shifted in your spirit today. You may not feel it fully just yet. Your outward circumstances may look exactly the same as they did 40 minutes ago. The medical reports, the financial strains, or the family problems might still be waiting to be solved, but you are not the same. Your heart is braver, your mind is clearer, your spirit is steadier, your quiet trust has been awakened. This time together was not just a passing moment or a temporary distraction, it was a turning point. It was a firm line drawn in the sand between the anxiety that used to control you and the perfect peace that is being shaped within you right now. As you step back into the rhythm of your day, carry this beautiful truth with you like an invisible shield. When the world gets too loud, remember the promises we just declared. When the quiet panic tries to creep back in while you are doing the dishes, making a decision, or lying in bed tonight, remind yourself of this sacred time. You are deeply loved. You are perfectly safe in His hands. You still have so much beautiful purpose left to fulfill, and you absolutely do not have to figure out tomorrow today. I want to gently invite you to come back here tomorrow morning. Make this quiet space your daily spiritual rhythm, your safe harbor before the world demands your attention. Share this prayer with a friend or a loved one who might be carrying a silent burden of anxiety today, and let them know they are not walking alone. Until we meet again tomorrow, may a protective presence completely surround you. May perfect peace fill your mind and quiet your thoughts. And may unconditional love guide your every single step. Be anxious for nothing, my beloved friend, for you are held. Wherever you go,